So this is our last session. Hopefully by the end of this, we would have appreciated some of these things we talk about. So I want you to be aware that as we do this, the lines that we are going to digitize are a bit different from the line you see in the picture, in the sense that these are actually vector. What we are creating is vector. The data that we are creating it from, not vector, is raster. So take note of that. Wait, let's start. So add line feature. So we're going to add line feature. Rail this time. So just click it, click the button, and then you need to take your time to get it right. So I'm going a bit closer, as you can see. And when you zoom, you come back and you pick the button again. Let's go along. Click along the point that define the shape of the objects. Along shape. Okay, so I need to mute someone. Okay. So you can see that there's a thin line that's following my cursor, which has turned into a target. Okay, icon. The cursor icon is looking more like the target. Excuse me. Have a dry throat. So this is a straight line, so I don't need to pick a lot of points. Just wherever I see a change in direction, I simply would pick. So you can go from here like this, you can go all the way to here, then click like so, and then you can pan it to have a better view of the real line. So I can go back and pick my add line feature. You see there's a thin line that's following my cursor, indicating that I'm actually digitizing a line. When we did the point, we didn't have that scenario. So here I'm on a curve. Every engineer should know a curve is made up of several points. So you can pick more points on the curve than you would in the in the case of a straight. So in the case of a straight, you have a few lines being picked. Okay. All right. So if you do a good job, you will know. If you don't, you will know. So it's all up to you. Considerations before you digitize. See, it's what we are talking about. The accuracy of the digitization, okay, is very important. So here I'm on a curve. I'm picking more points to define the shape. I feel like the geomorphology. Okay, so that one is a bigger word, isn't it? Okay, so now I need to pan down, pan up, so that I can flow it more. I'm now closer to the next airport. You have to do it as accurately as you can. Especially, it depends. You see, this is a tutorial, so we don't really care. But what if this were a real serious project? You may not even want to do this because you realize that it's not going to help you to achieve your purpose. Every little error in the end translates to some serious, issues later on if you have errors in your work. So yeah, we are at another curve again. Pick maybe 3 points there. Continue. So we are going to end very soon. When we have the splits, then we end. You just pan up again. This is not rocket science, as you can see. But the student is supposed to be doing it. If the student doesn't do it, of course, don't think I'm so excited about the class. I don't see anybody following. I'm not very excited that you are not doing it. And I'm going to find a way. Are you okay? To check that. Okay, so here's the splits. Okay, so at this point, you want to end it, okay? And the one reason why you want to end it is because of the concept and the idea of topology. Okay, we shouldn't have lines crossing anyhow. So here you having that situation. Either you have this line coming to just touch it, which means that there's no change. Okay, we don't have a lot of trains in Ghana. I don't know about Nigeria, but obviously where we have a lot of rails, there's a need to change sometimes at where the junctions are. So they have junctions at rail systems. So all you need to do is to just, treat the different segments separately, which is what we are going to do. So we call that one. We give it an idea of one. The speed is actually, okay, let's put some tests. Okay, it allowed us to put tests, which is strange because I thought we forced it to actually store a number. Okay, so that's quite weird, but okay, so this one is not allowing me to put in test the length. So it's possible that the speed was not real number. I don't know. So this one is rather behaving. Name should be test, but length is not allowing me to put in test. I'm trying to type in test. It's not working. That's good. So it forces me to put in something. The speed is 12 kilometers per hour. I don't know, something for it. Let's call this the Atlantic coastline. Why? How do you come by that? Because we can see it right there. Okay. So you just say, okay. All right. So I'll probably give you an assignment to do with this one. I'm just going to end the class and then I'll expect you to do this for me. And then the next meeting is we're going to do something totally different. So, okay. We're going to do something totally different. Maybe we'll do some buffers after this. Okay. So I'll put it on layman's. You're supposed to do some more digitizing for me. You're going to do a polygon digitizing of some features. So take note of that. I think by now you've gotten the hang of it. Okay. But I'll do one polygon for you so that you know exactly what to do. So I'm toggling editing. Do I want to save? Yes. So now I have a real line. Okay. So if you want to have a feel of what we've done so far, just switch off this line. So we have a line. Okay. All right. Great, great, great. Ideally, if this real line continues, it will meet our second airport, which we picked. Are you okay? Okay, so, but it's kind of not visible at the moment. Wait, now let me show you. Let's do a quick one on a polygon. We're going to create a polygon. All right. We're going to digitize an aerial feature. Let's first look for that feature. Usually a lake makes a good one because it closes. Every lake, well, still, are you okay? Can have artificial lakes and all that. The river itself is actually moving, and then you stop or you allow the water to accumulate, then you have an artificial lake. It shouldn't go too far. This one is also too big, quite boring for a tutorial like this. So at this scale, maybe I'll do this one just for example, and then so that you have something to do. When I ask you to do it, you have something to do. All right, so we are going to do this one and give it a name quickly. Layer, create layer, new shape file. So you can imagine we've created how many shape files? 2 shape files, the point, and then the line, the real line, and we have polygon. So I'll call this one the lake. So this layer will store all lakes. Okay, so lake. Save. By default, Windows Explorer allows you to always go to the folder that you worked with previously. Okay, so polygon, and then a few fields, name, size, just be fine. Okay, the size would be decimal number, add to it, and just say okay. That should be fine. We cannot toggle editing and start creating a polygon. That's how simple it is. Okay. Normally, when you are creating something for the first time, always do this in a clockwise fashion. I think it helps if you do that. You will thank me later on. Okay. Do it in a clockwise fashion. Stick with that. Be consistent. It takes time, as you can see. Okay, so if you want to undo, you simply press delete. So just go along. So just go like that. You see, because there's a lot of meandering and the shape is so irregular, it requires more points. And the student is supposed to understand that, you know. I'm not the one who's supposed to like look into that. As a student, you need to understand that all these things are actually basic knowledge, and there are questions you should be asking. And of course, become good at it. Get so good at, this, you can appreciate the whole idea. What are we doing? You go to the exam, naturally, you're just going to get an A. But if you're just going to sit down and accept things as they are, see, I'm done. How long did it take? Not long. Done a whole lake. When you're done, you right click. Sorry, I didn't see that. Let me add it to this one. Right click when done. Okay, take note of that. ID1, I'm putting the steps in the chat session. I hope you know it. So this is our own lake. We call it Wara Wara Lake. Okay, doesn't matter. Reminds me of Mr. Bones, some old movie. Anyway, so yep, we done. Toggle it, save it. This time we just saved it before we toggle it, so it doesn't access to save us. Beautiful. End of story. We've done the digitizing. Okay, and so what we're gonna do next is to just switch off our satellite image background. So that's one purpose for which you do these days. You try to always have a satellite image background. Okay. You may be thinking, what is this? But it means a lot. But of course, it also tells you that you will need time to digitize and to convert a lot of data that exists in the past. Computers are still new. So digitizing is nothing that we can't talk about. Obviously, there are methods to extract some of these things. It may not be perfect yet. In some time to come, this probably can be looked at as a method which is old-fashioned or not relevant. But until we get to a point where we can automatically extract these things, then this is one way to go. All right, so we can inspect our attribute tables. Right click the layer, click on open attribute table, and then you see that we have Guagua Lake as one record. It means we can have more lakes. Okay, so like I said, this gives me an opportunity to give you something to do, okay, as an assignment. Obviously, we have just one rail line segment called the Atlantic Coast line. Okay, so once you're on a particular line, you stay on it. If you actually been on a train before, you don't come off it like that. This is the first layer we actually created. It contains 3 objects, 3 points and locations. And we have one feature selected. To deselect it, you can just look for this select tool up here and then just click anywhere. Whilst that layer is selected, you see that the selection is gone. And we can also select other features. Let me press Shift and then select more. So now I selected 2 of the airports. Okay, because we did more of that, we can now have it. It's blue now, isn't it? Okay, so that's it. We can deselect again. All right, so this is on-screen digitizing, and let's go and look at the final product. This final product looks like the African shapefile I sent to you last week, and then we overlaid it to make our georeferencing look correct. So let's go look at it. So let's go to Explorer.